match between these two. Let's go ahead and head to game number 2. As the battleground has been chosen, we'll see if Dig can tie this up as we are going to Sky Temple. Fnatic with the choice.
And Dig is not going to be flustered by this loss. Not at all. First of all, they are secure for the Western Clash.
Yeah.
Of course they want to win the series. But they are also in a spot where they're saying, okay guys, last game was kind of weird. Also, if you're playing with a Rhaegar that chooses to go Bloodlust, you want to be the one that forces the fights on your own term. You don't want to be forced into a situation where you have to use, let's call it a defensive Bloodlust.
Sure.
You're like, we have to fight there, because even if you do that, your opponent can move away. And a lot of these fights ended up being at a talent disadvantage for Dignitas. So again, great victory for Fnatic, but let's not overvalue that just yet.
Definitely a situation where they can be like, oh, that happened. Wow. We could actually write that as unlucky, right? Go into game number 2, be prepared, be ready to go. So let's go into it. Sky Temple. Team Dignitas looking for the first ban. On the first map, we saw the Haka banned out. Haka can be a worthy ban on this battleground too, and as for the same reasons that we mentioned, Last Hope has done really well on the Dinosaur, so Team Dignitas will keep that away from Fnatic.
Yeah. And it's a good choice. I really like the choice to ban the Haka here. I think Last Hope has shown very impressively how strong he is on that hero. And of course, with that being said, we also have to consider that the Haka, as a hero in general, is strong. Bans, pretty much what you expect. Exactly the same bans that we had on map number 1. No difference here. Was no real reason to change anything up. If anything, that the Haka ban could have been something else. But here comes Dignitas. They picked Urel the last time. Are we going to see Urel picked again for the offlanes? That's something where Wooby puts his foot down and says, nope, I want to go.
Could see Urel coming out. Blaze could also be a nice option here on this battleground. It's going to be Urel. Seems like that'll be the mainstay here for Dignitas. Very similar to how Malfurion was before Urel came out.
A lot of the picks that we saw on the first map can be really similar here. Fnatic could definitely go into a Hanzo and Blaze setup for the map. Don't really have to, They can definitely start to change things a little bit here. Now, both of the teams have, of course, for Fnatic, there's more on this riding than for Dignitas, so if any one of these teams has a bit of a pocket strategy that they want to ideally save for a very important match, then Dignitas is going to be the one that is going to keep that hidden, because they are, as we said before, already confirmed. If Fnatic, on the other hand, has still a couple of drafts that they... We heard in the first weeks how much they experimented, right? So if they found a draft or two where they're saying, hey, this is strong, we can save this for an important match, this would be the match where you want to show it. Because this is the match that can decide whether you go to the Western Clash or not.
What do you think about Kharazim and Muradin coming out for the 1-2? Kharazim is typically a hero that's on the 3rd, 4th pickup in terms of what you grab in terms of tiers for supports. So Fnatic obviously building for a very aggressive build-up into a strong foundation for diving at target, but is Kharazim worth of grabbing for the first pick?
I think it can be, because I'm interested to see... This is one of those things where it's actually sad that we don't get a live commentary from the players at the same time, because that Junkrat pick on Dignitas, I find that super cool. Since if you have, let's say you have a Junkrat with what Fnatic has, and you get that one flip into that backline, and Muradin Stormbolts, and then you have a 7-sided. That would be a blow-up comp that you can run from that. But for that, you want to have displacement, and that comes more so from Junkrat with this setup than from Garrosh, because you made already the decision into Muradin. So Kharazim can be great. I was actually very impressed in the Heroes Hearth vs Endemic series yesterday by how efficiently Endemic set up several kills on Dragonshire with 7-sided if you get that isolation. The question just simply is, can you force the isolation against the target? So I think they can definitely work. And we have also with that now also Falstad.
And Valeera.
So disengage and that Valeera play again.
Shrimpy already showed Valeera on this battleground once. It was paired with a Malfield pick for Last Hope, and we actually don't have the final pickup yet for Last Hope, so that Malfield should be a consideration. The idea being that you come in, put some damage from Valeera, who has good front-loaded damage, try to get them pretty darn low, and then you have Kharazim and Malfield try to finish up the kills with potentially a last right and, of course, a few punches. So we'll see if that comes in here. And with Garrosh and Hanzo coming out there, Malfield's actually looking like a little bit more of a tasty pick here.
Hanzo into Valeera. Hey, he needs to be careful.
Yeah. They'll be able to watch out for ganks thanks to Sonic Arrow. You can play around that.
You have to. I mean, this is the one huge aspect, the huge argument made in favor of Hanzo in this case, right? Vision. You can play a lot of around vision. The problem only occurs if Valeera gets onto Hanzo.
Hanzo, Junkrat, even Junkrat, who usually has a pretty good escape. He has a low health bar, but if you have a burst target that jumps on top of him, typically you can drop down the old W, concussive mine away, and you're fine. But with the silence coming out from Valeera, you're just done.
True as well also against Malfurion.
Yeah.
If you want to prevent Xaylia from getting these important ults out, then that's the way to go. So aggressive composition again by Fnatic, and something that with the Malthael combo we have seen in the past from them. Yeah, I'm really interested in this. They're taking risks here, but they are so far undefeated with Valeera. They have a 2-0 on her.
Will it be enough? The game plan is very obvious here for Fnatic. Dignitas, knowing this, should go in with a controlled mindset, play a little bit safe in the early game, trying to make sure that when you are in fights, you're dropping down traps to make sure that Valeera doesn't find the jump on you.
They also have false set now, and the one thing that was very... I feel a bit disappointed when we saw them the last time on false on this map was the false set play and the way they use globals. Now they all have Mena on the hero though, so that changes things up a little bit, and I think also they have locked down the macro game a bit more. But here to the left we have Fnatic with Breeze on Muradin. We are seeing Shwimpy on Valeera, Smexy of course on Karazim for the heals, Last Hope on Malthael, and the birthday boy Mena on Falstad.
Birthday boy already opening a present in game number 1 by getting a fat W. Happy about that, but Dignitas on the right side has won to change that. We'll be playing Urel, Poik on Hanzo, Snitch on Junkrat, JPL on Garrosh, and Xaylia to play Malfurion.
Thinking about Mena though, as you say, he got himself a bit of a present in game number 1. He's greedy. He's not okay with just a map. He wants it all. He wants the series, and that would be a massive step towards the Western Clash. But Dignitas, they are now in a mindset where they shrugged off map number 1, and they're going to move into map number 2 right now with a goal to make sure that Fnatic is not walking away with a 2-0 lead here, and instead will find themselves in a tie once the teams head into game 3.
You say that, and now I suddenly have a picture of Mene on Christmas Day in a little kid's body, but with the same head, bald head, throwing a tantrum over having 3 gifts. Where's my 4th gift at? Little Mene, don't be greedy. Enjoy your 1 gift. You're fine. Calm down, buddy.
Look at this, the standoff, the Mexican standoff up at the top. 3 people just sitting in bushes and waiting. Well, Last Hope is showing himself, but Whoopi, he knows that Muradin is still missing on the map, so he's just like, I guess I should sit here for a while. And that's immediately a trigger for Mercenary Camp. In the case of Dignitas, we're seeing that at the Siege Giant Camp. But up to the top left, we're having instead Last Hope and Smexy going for a very, very early night camp on Sky Temple.
Very early indeed. This will be wanting to put some pressure on these turrets. The Giants being grabbed for Dignitas, so should be able to offset that. The Junkrat should be able to help push that in, and the rest of the team can rotate up to help with this night camp. You already see Hanzo making his way on over. And this will be good for Dig, and they clear this up quickly. They'll be able to respond there in the temple phase by grabbing their own night camp.
Also, something else that I haven't even picked up on, level 1 Transcendence has been claimed by Karazim. Don't see that too often these days.
Looks like his goal is to stay back and keep his assassins alive. If Valeera dies Hanzo or Junkrat, he can dash backwards and try to apply some damage, and with those auto attacks, at least give a little heals.
Movement speed, of course, is another really big benefit and can help you in a lot of these fights, especially if you can put it on Shwimpy here. For Valeera, that would be quite useful. But yeah, now the push at the top lane, and Whoopi is reacting to that, and we have a camp also now claimed by Team Dignitas, who are mirroring that move against the night camp. Now Mena down here is going for the Siege Giant camp. Smexy is sitting in the bush. This is all about anchoring. Every single time that a player makes a move here, you will see someone just anchoring that play when vision is missing. Because from Fnatic's perspective, they don't know where Malfurion and Hanzo are. And there is a chance that both of them are trying to invade the Siege Giant camp at the bottom left. So someone had to make sure that there's vision in case someone starts the invade, and then you can slow it down a bit, which allows the rest of your team to rotate in for it.
Really something that you should learn to do as a player in Heroes of the Storm. Become friendly with bushes, honestly. Just become full tree people, especially if you're a main tank. Being able to deny vision but keep vision and control space is a powerful opening. You've seen it from both of our teams already here, on this map in particular.
Yeah, especially if you're a tank player.
Yeah.
Most tanks don't have a lot of wave clear, so for them it makes perfect sense to sit in a bush and anger a play while the rest of the team is either taking a mercenary camp or going for an objective. It gives you a lot. Right now, though, both of the teams with temples to fight over. And we have still the camp at the top that Malthael deals with. No one else has taken to the top lane yet. It's instead a bit of a vision play, and here comes the explosive attack against Whoopi. But Shwimpy gets shut down here very quickly with an attempt that he had at damage. And we still see Dignitas holding on to their temple in the mid lane. So currently, the team in red is doing extremely well here.
Notice Malfurion's position here. constantly being in a spot where he's backing a teammate, keeping an eye on Schwimpy, bringing out the Moonfires too to make sure that he's unable to stealth. Lands it right here. Schwimpy trying to escape. We'll have a Sinister Strike in a second, so he gets away. But meanwhile, Garrosh in the middle lane continues to control that space. Poit comes over with an arrow though, and he delivers a blow to the Rogue. Yeah,
that was definitely a kill that was completely set up by Garrosh. That flip that we saw from JPL was what allowed them to get that kill. Zelia now gets the roots, and that should be... No, it's not a kill. It's a bit of damage against Mane, but JPL just did not get that stun in. If that stun connects, then he's able to flip him over, and that's a dead bird. But Mane, despite the roots from Zelia, able to walk through the gate and back to safety. And still an even game, because the top temple was completely taken by Fnatic. Dignitas not rotating top, instead trying to get the kill at the bot lane.
Giants will be the next target here for Dignitas. For now, we should be able to have both teams soaking a little bit. We'll go back to that calm state we had in the early game as they grab experience. If anything explosive comes out, it'll be based on Schwimpy and finding a target to pick off. But you see it, Uriel on the top, playing slow, not really knowing where Malthael and Valeera is. Just saw him in the middle lane, peeling back right to the fort instantly. Last Hope actually working in some mono attacks here. Valeera's coming around from the side. This might be a kill. Wubby realizes something is up. We'll mount up and get away.
Yeah, but it allows them to put free damage onto that fort now. They have to retreat in time, though, and they might have overstayed their welcome a little bit. Again, the move for Valeera. She is, of course, a prime target here, and Schwimpy needs to be careful. JPL with a fantastic play, throwing Uriel forward. She still had the stun available, and then they go for the second kill, taking Valeera down once again. But from a structural perspective, still kind of worth it.
Yeah, Fnatic now has the option on the second temple to not fully commit to it, allow for Malthael and Valeera if they would like to push in the top lane and take that fort down later on, which Dignitas will have to consider if they want to give it up. It's just, of course, deal with that.
It's a matter of experience now, and Dignitas has taken a significant lead towards level 10, and that's usually what you try to get for the next phase. And of course, with this, we're having now also an invade happening again at the Siege Giant camp. Dignitas is currently looking extremely crispier. Taking the 2-0 in kills, Fnatic sees the invade, but they can't stop it this time. We're not going to have a repetition of what happened in game number 1. But at least Malthael is able to move through the top lane. And again, it is important that you hold the structural advantage in this game, and currently Fnatic does exactly that. But it's going to change once that Dignitas commits to the bottom temple if Fnatic decides that they can't contest it.
Still a little worried when team fights break out. You have Bribe stat here for pickup of Fall stat, which means they are intending to focus one target down quick. Valeera, Malthael, Karazim, still a deadly combo. If Garrosh were to overstep, he can be deleted quickly. He is actually not as tanky against the composition as you would think.
Yeah. The one thing that Dignitas is doing right now, and they do an exceptional job at it, because it's literally the job description at this point, is keep tabs on Valeera. And they have done so well with it. But now with level 10s in play, this changes slightly. Top lane fort is going to be lost, so Fnatic is going to find some structural value. Last Hope is there, and that also means with him taking the top lane that Fnatic is not going to make a big play for the bottom shrine, because if they would have tried to do that, Falstad would be the one to push out the top lane and not Malthael. He's now slowly rotating in and thinking about stealing the camp away here.
Already starting it. Uriel's on her way though, so is Junkrat.
Yeah. That's something that is just a little bit too obvious, but Dignitas just says, yeah, no you don't.
So good to see. Attempting it, but the moment Dig shows up, just back away. Fnatic, after realizing that multiple went up there to that Knight camp to defend it, just opened up the bottom lane. So good rotation for them. And
again, they're focusing on structures here. They can't snipe heroes at this moment in time, so instead they're sniping structures. But here comes the arrow, and again, oh, that comes a quick flip, and it could be again the end of a Schwimpy. He's trying to get away, but gets taken down. Schwimpy getting bullied here heavily. Dignitas with very good reactions to what's happening here. Mane was trying to secure the play by him simply using the Mighty Gust, but now he's going to fall victim to Wubby too.
Should be a boss now, right? Scatter arrow build on Hanzo. There it is.
Fnatic is making a lot of good plays, but they also have one big problem. They stay too long. That happened now several times, where they just simply overstayed their welcome a little bit, and they lost Valeera in 2 of those cases, and now Falstad as well. So 3 of the 4 deaths that we see on Fnatic's side are simply because they stayed a second too long with the attempt to push either the fort at the top lane or the fort at the bot lane. The thought process are good. I like the rotations. The idea behind it is something that definitely works, but now they're getting just slapped around here. Not even the camp invade here works out. Dignitas is shutting that down too, so Fnatic is losing out on every single lane. Yeah,
Dig really starting to take these team fights into their own hands, opening with arrows if they need to, a little bit of Riptide at the top lane and clear out the minion experience. It was used in case there was a fight over the night camp, but Fnatic gave it up and Dignitas was able to take it away. Now with the boss pushing in the bottom lane, Dig can decide how they want to break down the rest of the map. And they decide to put one on the top as they'll have Wubby dealing with these towers. Malfurion's rotating over to the middle. As Snitch is actually taking a lot of pressure here from Valeera. Able to get away, but here comes Mene.
Yeah, and they're going in again, and this time the 7-sided is enough to kill Garrosh with the help of Manon Falstad. He abandoned the bot lane defense. The boss was taken out by those towers. Keep in mind, the boss was taken extremely early in the game, so it didn't really scale yet, so it was not quite that as strong as you would normally see later on in the game. And Fnatic is still holding on to experience. 13 versus 13. Would of course been a bit better for them if they could also confirm the kill against Junkrat, but that didn't work out. Smexy's already down here. Shrimpy is spotted. Xaylia needs to be super careful right now, but Snitch is also joining the fight. Malthael taking the top temple instead. And from a structural point of view, Fnatic is a little bit behind right now, but they're still in an okay spot. Considering how the early game went, 4 deaths against them.
Yeah, but I really like where Dig is at right now when it comes to the ability to deal with pressure coming their way.
Yeah.
Natural agility pickup for Hanzo at 13, the Riptide again at 13 for Junkrat to be able to get away from fights quickly, and then you have Ice Block too. So if Garrosh is able to land his Qs and grab those shields, it'd be difficult for Fnatic to find any more picks, and so far Dig has been getting the upper hand when it comes to team fights.
Yeah, again, from Fnatic, they need to just be a little bit more crisp with their decision-making. I like the decisions in general. It's just you have to move back a little bit faster. Because the one big aspect of their play that I still see could give Dignitas huge problems is the global aspect. Having Falstad here and the disengages that they can show, and their rotations towards structures has been really good. And if they then get a good gust off for disengage, they can move away from those. Because despite what happened so far, if you look at the game right now, we have a kill advantage for Dignitas, but outside of that, it's dead even. Same structures, fought at the bot lane, that's one hit, and then it's gone. And pretty much the same experience as well once the Fnatic picks up the XP in the minion wave here in the middle. So Dignitas is a tiny bit ahead, but not by much. And this might change everything here, but a great flip again by Garrosh, saving them for now.
Riptide comes out to Dignitas. There's a chasing for a kill. Here comes the arrow. It actually lands right on top. Mene, here's Riptide 2. Will it get the kill? I don't believe so. Oh my gosh, it does. As Falstad is cleaned up. Last hope trying to get the auto tech in there to clear it up, but was not there in time.
Absolutely impressive. First of all, Fnatic with a very, very cool engage here. But it was most so impressive how well Dignitas dealt with it. Immediately negating the entire threat simply by JPL, making sure that no one was in danger anymore. And then you saw Junkrat, who was at the top lane with the Riptide, and they honestly get that kill against Mene. That was fantastic play by them. Dignitas with such a fantastic crisis management that it's extremely difficult for Fnatic to do anything in these situations. They didn't even commit to any heroic abilities, Fnatic that is, because they realized from how well Dignitas played that situation that they wouldn't be able to get that quick kill that they're looking for.
After that, it was for every man for himself, and Mene wound up getting picked off, and now Dignitas, with that Night Camp stolen, and the turrets taking the top, and the kills coming in, have a half-level experience lead over Dignitas, and that will yield them a level 16 talent advantage. Already in the bottom lane, though, with Giants clearing that up, that should be some experience gained by Fnatic. They even have Shwimpy in the corner, soaking up, fully stealth, trying to get those minions so he can get 16 for his team.
Yeah, and they're moving in again. Nobody is getting top lane experience. That's a bit of a problem for Fnatic. Falstad is already there. There's one temple on the map, but Fnatic is still hoping for... yeah, Fnatic is hoping for mistakes. This is basically what Fnatic has been doing the entire game. They're hoping for mistakes right now. So they are hoping that at some point, someone of Dignitas' side is just rotating around. They're setting a lot of traps on the map. But Dignitas is playing extremely careful since they very much respect the burst potential that we have through Valeera and the potential follow-up here with 7-sided and what else is available. So right now, Fnatic is playing around the map more so than team fights. Reese is securing some of the shots here. Falstad is close by so that they have the disengage available with a Mighty Gust. And the rest of the team is at the bot lane. They want to go for boss, actually. They're trying to make a boss play here, I believe. The boss is going to spawn in another couple of seconds. But they're showing on the lane right now.
15 seconds for it. It felt like they were trying to see if anyone would come over and rotate between middle and bottom lane, and just nobody bit for Dignitas. Junkrat played it safe. They tried to go for a kill on Murder instead. Arrow completely whiffed, but Dignitas will be able to grab this cube with the remaining shots, and that will put catapult pressure. Fnatic being consistent with traps! Oh no, Junkrat!
Okay, though. That fight is not over yet, though, and that could still backfire, and it does. Kerosene goes down after Junkrat was the initial kill, so even though Fnatic gets that kill, they are not able to walk away. That was absolutely crazy. It was amazing from Fnatic to set up a trap right there with hiding Malthael behind Vision and Velira fully stealthed, and they were waiting for a rotation. And then, unfortunately, for Snitch, he actually jumps exactly onto Velira.
That was a full Wile E. Coyote moment, honestly. Just putting yourself in a really bad position.
I mean, you want to go through that spot, and that's what Fnatic is hoping for, but that he would actually jump on it is just insane.
Ooh, Fnatic going for a bit of a miracle play here. They go straight in for this boss, taking a lot of damage. Nobody from Dignitas in the vicinity, though, and Breeze, he'll come over here and start tanking. Now, Dignitas starting to rotate down. They want to take this out.
They need full stats.
He had to back up there. It's low, though. They might be able to keep leashing this. No, they decided not to.
Ah, they give that up. That's what I thought they would do earlier, you know, when I said they are going to try and make a boss play. They had Malthael, Velira, and Falstad there. And those, I think it was Kerosene or Falstad, not 100% certain, but Malthael and Velira for sure. Those two are actually really good when it comes to taking a boss. So that's what I originally thought they wanted to do. And I think they thought about it and were just waiting it out slightly, but then they were attempting to set up that trap. The problem for Fnatic really is that they... So the good thing for Fnatic is they have the global, so they can mitigate some of the top lane pressure that is executed through the catapults. But it's going to come down to a team fight at some point, I believe. And that could be over the boss here. So Fnatic will eventually have to take a fight. Because they're not too far behind experience, but it's still enough to give Dignitas a very significant level 20 advantage once they have their Storm Talons. And Dignitas is going to try and use that then to force big fights.
Yep, the experience lead and that keep lead will eventually take its toll. Falstad, luckily with the global, will make it easier for Fnatic to deal with that, and of course they can rotate the fights they need to with the fly. JPL coming around from the side, just continuing to check bushes, leading the charge for his team, has Wellbe to back him up in case he needs that armor on the level 4.
6 kills against 2 here. Main is still with experience. He brings the team back in XP. Here comes a quick goal. They're trying to go for it. Malthael with the damage as well. Mighty Gust into a corner. JPL just doesn't die. He's on the run, but he doesn't go down. Breeze wants another Stormbolt. Doesn't find it, but they're turning around and getting for Urel. And she gets the Ardent Defender off. Just barely. Both of those targets nearly falling, but as it turns out, it's just simply not enough. Half a second was missing, and Urel would have fallen, but he gets out of the silence, pops the Ardent Defender, and that keeps him alive.
Same with Garrosh Saris. Heads up play, getting the Groundbreaker's shield, also bringing out the taunt to make sure he couldn't be focused down too much, and then Fearing could be there for the heals. Dignitas survives the trap Fnatic has set. Fnatic will take the time, though, while they put damage in to grab some shots from the Temple, but Dignitas, they are primed and ready. They are wanting to fight.
The crisis management of Dignitas is insanely impressive. It is really something to watch out for. So well how they deal with these situations. Whoopi doesn't have the Ardent Defender, though. Smexy moving away here again. The mobility used on Fnatic, on Dignitas' side, and Fnatic just jump after jump, and here comes the Gust for the disengage. Insane play from both teams right now, but especially Dignitas is impressive.
Last hope, thinking that they were going to turn around there, or maybe been in trouble, dropped his last rights, hoping they could turn around, maybe deal something with Urel, but with the Mighty Gust coming out, Urel's just fine. They'll take that cooldown, and now with the Temple being grabbed, Keep is under fire. Yeah,
but that's not the only problem. With 20 in the hands of Dignitas, they're going to make that boss play. And I was actually expecting Fnatic to think about contesting that, but now Falstad just flew to the top.
He's rotating down.
That's a little bit of a slow rotation, though. I don't think they can go for this. There's just no way.
Burning is thrown. Taunted. Riptire from the side. Breeze silenced. And the damage is about to connect. Breeze trying to stay alive, but he gets picked off. Zelia low on mana, but it doesn't matter. They now have a 5v4.
Now, that was a really, really, really bad decision on Fnatic's side. Everything else you can everything else in the game was just half a second too late. Great play by Dignitas, an insane reaction by Dignitas, but that was weird.
It got chaotic.
Falstad flying top lane and then trying to make the rotation while it was very, very obvious that Dignitas was attempting to make the level 20 play on the boss, and then still going in. That was just weird, because Gust was also off cooldown, on cooldown. And now Dignitas, of course, they want the game. I mean, they played fantastic so far here on Sky Temple, and they are going in. JPL survives through all of it. Here comes the wind tunnel, but the shields are gone, and the core is just falling. The boss is still at 25%, and this should be it, as Dignitas is going to tie this series. take the win on Sky Temple and bring Fnatic to game 3 with a tie.
A slow and patient game against Fnatic buys a win here for Dignitas as they make sure not to get blown up by the Valier composition. A fun one here for Fnatic, but one that is a little aggressive. One that if your opponents are able to deal with you coming your way, you shouldn't be able to get those kills. There were moments, though. There were close where they had a couple of traps that just didn't come all the way through.
I mean, let's be honest here. Dignitas just played this extremely well. How many teams have you seen that would have been able to deal with what Fnatic just pulled off? That Garrosh survived at the bottom fight was